The Sunday school lesson for December 24th, 2023 is God promised a righteous Lord. Isaiah chapter 9, verses 2 through 7, New Living Translation, week 17. This is an audio reading of the Sunday school lesson and the lesson summary. Verses 2 through 3. The people who walk in darkness will see a great light. For those who live in a land of deep darkness, a light will shine. You will enlarge the nation of Israel, and its people will rejoice. They will rejoice before you as people rejoice at the harvest, and like warriors dividing the plunder. Verses 4 through 5. For you will break the yoke of their slavery and lift the heavy burden from their shoulders. You will break the oppressor's rod, just as you did when you destroyed the army of Midian. The boots of the warrior and the uniforms blood-stained by war will all be burned. They will be fuel for the fire. Verse 6. For a child is born to us, a son is given to us. The government will rest on his shoulders, and he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Verse 7. His government and its peace will never end. He will rule with fairness and justice from the throne of his ancestor David for all eternity. The passionate commitment of the Lord of heaven's armies will make this happen. A brief summary. Galilee is called Galilee of the nations because many Gentiles would live there. This region was honored by Jesus' presence, as Matthew demonstrated by quoting Isaiah chapter 9, verses 1 through 2, in Matthew chapter 4, verses 13 through 16. Jesus' ministry would be like a great light bursting on them. Because of the gift of the Messiah, the nation of spiritual Israel would be enlarged through a great influx of Gentiles, and their joy would be increased. A farmer at harvest and warriors after victory illustrate the joy that would come to God's people. The day of Midian's defeat refers to Gideon's defeat of the Midianites 400 years earlier. This prophecy's immediate fulfillment would come when God broke the oppressive yoke of the Assyrians in 701 BC. Likewise, the Jews would suffer under the yoke of Roman oppression, but Jesus came to bring deliverance from a different master, sin. Once the people were liberated, a spreading peace would allow the burning of military equipment and clothing. See 2 and 4. The final reason for joy is the birth of a child who surely represents the ultimate fulfillment of the Emmanuel sign. The government, rule and authority, would be his, according to Matthew chapter 28, verse 18. This set of 4 names reminds us of throne names used for newly crowned kings. All 4 names consist of 2 elements. The King James Version has a comma after wonderful, but it is more likely that Isaiah intended to mention one name, Wonderful Counselor, literally, wonder of a counselor. Isaiah foresaw someone who knew all the questions and had all the answers. This can only be God himself. Mighty God emphasizes the child's great power and divinity. Everlasting Father communicates that the child will be a loving protector and provider whose rule will be for all eternity. Prince of Peace conveys the chief characteristic of this child's rule. War is the character of earthly kings, But the Messiah brings peace both with God and fellow human beings, according to chapter 11, verses 6 through 9. Isaiah's original hearers surely thought he was talking about a king who would reign in Jerusalem. But this child was to be in a different category from any earthly monarch. His reign was to be characterized in 5 ways that no normal human ruler could ever measure up to. One, his reign was to be endlessly increasing, as opposed to the rise and fall of empires throughout history. Two, it was to be endlessly peaceful, never at war or preparing for war. Three, it was to be tied to the most beloved ruler of Israel, King David. It was to be established, number 4, on true justice, not on the might makes right philosophy. And 5, its existence and increase were guaranteed by the zeal of the Lord. This was to be a primary matter for the all powerful God of Israel. Such zeal cannot be thwarted by anyone or anything. Thank you so much for listening. Join me soon for the next Read with Me. Stay safe.